What is up, guys? Welcome back to another Acura RSX video. Today we're going to be focusing on doing all the maintenance on my pretty ugly RSX. Now here we have brand new oil, which I ended up getting the Castrol GTX high mileage 5W20, even though it does have 132,000 miles. I usually would run this type of oil on all my daily drivers. I did go ahead and get the spark plugs, and I did go ahead and get a replacement primary O2 sensor that we're going to be replacing because we currently have a couple check engine lights. Now, I do have the check engine light for misfire among all 4 cylinders. I do have the primary O2 sensor code, which I'm assuming is making the car run super rich because I smell the fuel. The gas economy is really bad right now. And I also have a check engine light for the knock sensor. That one should be coming in tomorrow, so I'll go ahead and finish off the video with the knock sensor at the end. I also want to give you guys a quick sneak peek on what's to come. Some fog light tint, high beam, steering wheel wrap to get rid of that ugly steering wheel. Of course, I'm gonna have to do a junkyard run soon to get some missing pieces among the car to get it ready for its coming wrap job. It won't be staying like this much longer. And here we also have a Mugen style rear lip with the third brake light, and I have 2 front lips from Magic Drift that we'll be installing. So there's a lot of stuff coming for the RSX. As far as right now, I just want to go ahead and make sure that it's running right, because right now, I know you guys can't smell it, but it reeks like straight gas. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the O2 sensor for my guys wanting to learn how to do this. I definitely could tell that this thing's on cut springs because the car's pretty low, but those are the stock struts and springs, so that's definitely gonna have to get replaced with some coilovers. I also noticed, looking down under the car, that this thing actually does have some sort of aftermarket. I'm not sure, it's a catback for sure, because this pipe does not look stock. You guys let me know, but it has a stock muffler in the rear. The car is definitely louder than a stock one in my opinion. So I know it's really hard to see down here. We have the primary O2 sensor in front of the cat. We have the rear O2 sensor behind the cat. So this leads out, it's obviously ripped. If you come towards here, this piece is ripped here. Luckily it's not part of the car harness. As you guys can see here, it's this little plug that you have to unplug here. Alright, so I went ahead and pried off this piece of the cat. It's 4 little 10s, and then I went ahead and got myself a little wrench and started taking off the sensor. So this thing's completely off. I would just highly recommend for you to go to AutoZone and get yourself the proper socket to take this thing off, and it would make it way easier. There you go. This unclips from here, and the O2 sensor is officially off. Now we could actually have a nice look at this thing. So it looks like it was failing due to it being disconnected. So here we have this Denso replacement. I got it off Amazon. I'll go ahead and link everything down in the video description for you guys to get, but in case you want the part number, it's 234-9064. I think I paid like 90 bucks for this one. Yep, that looks about right. Here's the replacement. Denso does go ahead and give you some anti-seize that we're going to be applying around the threads here so it doesn't seize up down in time. And just like that, I went ahead and connected it, went ahead and tightened it up by the cat. I'm going to go ahead and finish by putting this back on with the 410s, and you should be good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of the oil change. You are going to go ahead and need a 14mm socket to get rid of the drain plug for the oil pan down there. Ooh, nice. This thing looks super black. So passenger side axle right above it, right there. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. Kind of like a weird spot to have it in, but I'm gonna try to get it off of there. And yeah, I don't know why Honda did that. for some reason everyone loves to overtime them. So luckily Marissa had one of these little things that you could just put a socket to and kind of twist. So let me take care of that, get the oil filter off. So oil change is officially done. I'm gonna go ahead and start taking off this piece here to reach the coil packs and to go ahead and replace the spark plugs. So again, these are the NGK IFR 7G-11KS. I called the dealer and they were quoting me like $50 something per spark plug. So I got these off Amazon and they were like $50 for all four. So I'm gonna go ahead and link them down in the description for you guys to get. And Amazon is usually always the cheapest place where I could find a lot of the stuff. So alright, I went ahead and got my 3/8 ratchet with a long extension, and the socket size is going to be a 5/8 for it to fit in there. What do you guys think? They don't look too black for them to be rich, but then again, it looks like they've been on there for a while. Bam. Alright, I think we're officially done. All we have left is the NOx sensor, which I know is located right below the intake manifold. So I'm not sure how I'm going to reach that, but I'll go ahead and take care of that tomorrow once it arrives. I'm going to go ahead and take this off. I personally don't like running front plates on all my cars, but I am going to end up just keeping it around just in case I ever get pulled over, as this is officially my daily driver. So out here in Cali, it's a weird law, but I don't know. None of my cars run front plates, so let's take this off. Quick startup, and let's check for oil leaks. Alright, no oil leaks. There you go. Turn that on. Yeah, the compressor isn't spinning. Can you guys see that? The NOx sensor finally came in. Let's go ahead and knock this thing out for the final check engine lights. So before we start, I do want to go ahead and give you guys the part number and let you guys know that if you do have to do a NOx sensor on the RSX, whether it's the base model or Type S model, you want to go ahead and make sure that you get an OEM NOx sensor, because the previous owner had replaced the NOx sensor for me already, but he used the cheap Amazon, O'Reilly's, or AutoZone one. Those won't actually get rid of your check engine lights, so don't do the work twice. Go ahead, spend the $130 or $140 that you will spend on an OEM one online, and do things once. So part number is going to be, as you guys can see here, 30530-PRB-A01. Alright, so I'm currently taking off the bottom bolt to the bracket that you guys will see in the way of the NOx sensor. Okay, so I now have direct access to the harness plug. As you guys can see, I already disconnected it. We're ready to put the socket onto the actual NOx sensor. Okay, so here's the bracket I was talking about. Once you're down under the car, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's basically sitting like this, and it's basically blocking your hand from reaching the NOx sensor under the intake manifold. So like I said, there's a 12 right here and a 12 right here. Once you take that off, your hand could actually fit in there. Disconnect the NOx sensor, and now we can go ahead and put the socket with the ratchet and take off the old NOx sensor. Dude, this thing was hand tight. It wasn't even, oh my, bro. I'm about to go on a freaking rant with you guys, because I would see this within the DSM community as I was growing up with it. When cars are just super cheap or super easy to get, such as DSMs, or in this case an RSX, you tend to get owners that just simply mistreat them, beat on them, don't fix them, don't maintain them. A car should not have to go through all this. Honestly, if you're any type of car enthusiast, don't ever let a car get to this point. And if you are, dude, like, don't even get into cars, sell it off and find a different hobby, because this is obviously not for you. First complaint is, this is why you don't use a non-OEM knock sensor. As soon as I took off the harness connector, this little green piece came off. So it looked really similar. The OEM one feels slightly sturdier and heavier. This thing wasn't even on with like, it wasn't even tight. Like, I was able to take this off with my hand. I put the socket on there and immediately it was just loose. So the guy didn't put it on properly. I wanted to put everything back together, put the car back on the ground. Let's go ahead and check the codes. I might have to delete the knock sensor code that's left. Okay, so we have the knock sensor code. Let's go ahead and delete it. Alright, let's do a quick pull right here. Oh yeah, feels a lot better. Okay, so I just got home, drove the car around like 10 miles or so, no check engine light thus far. In my opinion, the knock sensor does make a huge drivability. It does make a huge difference as far as drivability goes, but the car pulls a lot harder, the car goes through the RPM a lot easier, and it just feels, it feels better, which is why I always tell you guys, like, whenever you buy a new car, always take care of the maintenance first. You want to make sure the car's running at least somewhat decently before you start doing other mods like bigger turbos or suspension or aesthetics. So now that we're done, I'm going to go to the junkyard tomorrow with Danny, my fellow DSM buddy, and we're going to be looking for a couple parts for the RSX, including a big brake kit that comes on the Acura TLs, which from Acura guys, you guys already know that the Acura TL Type S or manual, I think, TLs that have Brembos, you could easily swap over the Brembos with like a small spacer and a bigger rotor. So I do want to implement a bigger brake kit, such as Brembos with 4 pistons versus the stock little 2 piston calipers on here. So expect a video on that, and now we could pretty much focus on aesthetics and getting this thing looking right, because as far as right now, this is my daily driver and this is a complete eyesore and absolutely hate it. So expect a full wrap video where we wrap this thing completely, and I'm excited for the new colors. So I'm gonna let you guys go here. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more Mitsubishi and Honda content, and I'll see you on the next one.